You should use this curriculum.
I like to wear these earrings. They catch my dreams for me like the perfect homeschool curriculum, which is Ambleside, of course.
You should use this curriculum because
It uses all the methods.
it encourages kids to work independently, which is what you need when you're a working homeschool mum.
It's free.
I can't see anything in these. It's so easy to use.
You get to spend more time outdoors.
Now, let's see which one is the best. I can't see anything. My Father's World.
Easy peasy.
Abeka. Saxon Math. Apologia. Definitely Saxon Math.
You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it.
You're gonna love it. Don't go with anything else.
Stop. Just start from the beginning.
Okay.
Let's start by chatting about homeschool curriculum in general. Then we can look at different programs you can get, curriculum mistakes, and finish by going through a few popular curriculums. So by the end of this video, you'll be able to pick your own curriculum with confidence. Let's start with what you get when you buy a curriculum. By the way, this video is dedicated to my husband. He wants to know all about homeschool curriculum for newbies. Okay, let's chat about online versus boxed. When considering homeschool curriculum, you need to decide how you feel about screens in your home. If you don't like them, then it's a good idea to go for a boxed curriculum. Many companies produce boxed curriculum. BJU Press is a company I use myself, and it produces one. They'll send you a box with your child's curriculum and lots of teachers' manuals so you know how the thing works. But if you're okay with screens, you can get something online. Schoolhouse Teachers is completely online and offers curriculum that is completely affordable. And if you want to do some online stuff, you can just print the lessons off. And then you can also get something that's a mix between boxed and online video lessons. Again, BJU Press does this mixed format. That is, you get a box in the mail, but you also get access to online video lessons at their homeschool hub. If you're a busy mum who doesn't have time to teach the material yourself, then this is a great option. Personally, I love the idea of online lessons as I'm not a fan of teachers' manuals. That is, some are easy to use, but a lot of them require a lot of prep work. Let's chat about the books you might get in a homeschool curriculum. Some curriculum are expensive because you get lots of books in the curriculum, and this costs a lot of money to print the books. Sunlight is a curriculum that does this. Sunlight is quite costly compared to other programs like Schoolhouse Teachers, but that's because you get a bunch of books you can use with every subsequent child. You build up a nice little library of books, and each subsequent child that uses that curriculum, well, it becomes cheaper for you. Okay, when we're talking about expensive versus not expensive, I want to say that video lessons can be expensive. This is because you're outsourcing the teaching you would normally do to another company. This gives you more time and it's easier, but you pay for it. But what is fantastic is that companies like BJU and Abeka, who offer video lessons, also give you accredited curricula, which is comforting for a lot of parents, especially when they're only planning on doing some short-term homeschooling. For example, when they go on a road trip, or if they're just homeschooling short-term to overcome a school bump. You also want to think about the hands-on elements in a curriculum. That is, many traditional curricula do not have hands-on material to do. A lot of the curricula is bookwork, and so it requires your child to sit at a table and do their bookwork there. This will be okay for some kids, but it won't be good for your wiggly worms. If you want something hands-on, go for a Charlotte Mason, Unit Studies, or Montessori curriculum. If you're not sure what these are, watch my video on Homeschool Methods. I'm also going to do some videos on these individual methods, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out. Let's chat about support options with homeschool curricula. Actually, blow that, I need a coffee. I'll be back in a minute. Put a little cream in my coffee, don't tell anyone. Oh, that's a lot of cream. What do you think? Beautiful. Okay, let's chat about support options. Expensive curricula often come with useful support. That is, you can pick up the phone and talk to a real person about the homeschool issues you're having and about the curriculum. This can be incredibly comforting for new homeschool parents who feel they need the support. But then if you don't have money to buy an expensive curriculum with phone support, then there's always Facebook groups for you. For example, the Easy Peasy curriculum, which is free. It has loads of Facebook groups, so wherever you are in the world, you can find a Facebook group of people who are near you who are using the same curriculum. And if you're not using Easy Peasy, that's okay. There's a lot of other Facebook groups, people who will be using the same curriculum you're using who can support you. But really, it is sort of a case of you get what you pay for. If you want to know what's worth spending money on and what's not, then do my homeschool course. It's linked below. I can show you how to save a ton of money, where to find free resources, and how to have a homeschool you love. So check out the course. Now let's chat about the different homeschool curriculum programs you can get. One moment. Not enough. Oh, so good. Curricula are usually separated by the homeschool method they use. The main homeschool methods are classical, Charlotte Mason, traditional, eclectic, unit studies, Montessori, and unschooling. I go through all these methods in my homeschool methods video, so I won't bore you by going through it again. But most homeschool curricula you can get these days follow the traditional method, which is the method they use in schools. I think the big reason for this is that most of these curriculum providers also make material for schools. For example, Abeka does this, but Charlotte Mason curriculum, for example, doesn't do this, and that's because the Charlotte Mason method was made for use in homeschools. It is used by a few select schools, but it's pretty hard to carry out the Charlotte Mason method in a school because it's made for a homeschool. Before we look at specific curricula, I'd love to go through a few curriculum mistakes I see homeschool parents make. This is so important for homeschooling parents to get their heads around because you can have a more relaxed homeschool and avoid homeschool burnout. I talk a lot about that in my homeschool course. Okay, first mistake to avoid is to have a schedule. A schedule might work for some, but for most homeschool parents, it just burns them out. That's because there's often too much to do, and there's too much for a homeschool mum to get around to. It's not like they're a teacher who has hours to prepare at home so they can do this lesson. Homeschool mums don't have that. They're on duty 24/7, so you need to be flexible. And that leads me to the second mistake, which is not letting kids go down rabbit holes. When a child is down a rabbit hole, they're probably learning a lot. And they're learning when they're down a rabbit hole because they're probably fascinated with the subject matter. This is fantastic, and we need to encourage this more. All right, and then I don't want you to be afraid to skip material if you feel your children know it already. Instead of doing this superfluous work, children can do something else. There's no point doing this busy work, it just embitters children towards learning. Also, make sure you don't push your kids through tears when they're learning. If it's not working, come back to the material another day or figure out another way to teach it. You can do this by identifying your child's learning style. If you don't know what this is, I'll make a video on it later, so subscribe so you don't miss out on that one. Next, and what you've probably been waiting for, is a look at some of the best homeschool curriculum on the market today. And I'd like to show you some of the best homeschool curriculum for each method. For classical curriculum, look into Memoria Press. I'm going to use this with my own children when they're old enough to do Latin. All the links for these curriculum programs are down below, by the way. For Charlotte Mason, look into the Heart of Dakota curriculum or simply Charlotte Mason. For a traditional curriculum, which is also a little bit hands-on, I like BJU Press. This is the curriculum that I use. For an eclectic curriculum, look at My Father's World. This is a mix of a few methods. And for unit studies, look at Schoolhouse. Of course, if you're feeling a little confused about homeschool methods, watch this video. It'll give you a crash course on homeschool methods and you'll be a pro in about 8 minutes. See you next time. Maybe I should have said stay cool, but I think it's summer in America at the moment.